Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I'm going to be working on my Jasper C again, so I'm going to move things around a bit, zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, I've got my timer started. I've got some drills picked out. Let me just jump into my life update. What is going on in my life? Well, lots of stuff. You guys, I'm officially banning Mondays. I told my husband after the last month or so. So when our toilet broke and my husband was off working, that was on a Monday. When the storm knocked out our power and we were existing on a generator for 3 days, that happened on a Monday. I mean, technically Sunday night, but Monday was when it got bad. My car tires. My car is acting up. I don't know what is going on. It said a tire was low. And my car, it tells you which tire, right? So I go and I pump it up, and then I realize when I get back in to check the pressure again, I've pumped up the wrong tire because somehow the car is telling me the incorrect tire. It was telling me a rear tire when it was actually a front tire that was low. No idea if the tire had something in it or what happened. It hasn't leaked again since I filled it up. It's maintaining its temperature. So I don't know if it was something with the pressure in the air, what happened, why it was low. I don't know. I thought maybe it was just a slow leak, but nothing's happened since then. So anyway, so I had that issue and I ended up having to reschedule some stuff because I didn't know if the car tires were going to last. And then in the midst of doing all that, I realized I had locked myself out of the house. So no more Mondays for me. Mondays are not a fun day of the week anyway, and the last ones for me have been really not fun, so yeah, just decided I'm not going to do them anymore. That's how it works, right? Earlier this week, hubby let me know that he wants to be done working. He wants to move his retirement funds out of where they are, roll them into an IRA that he can start withdrawing from. However, in order to do that, he has to not work, not put any contributions in that fund for 45 days. So he's done. Thursday was his last day working and I'm sort of freaking out. I guess now the push is really on for us to be full steam ahead, get the house sold and be on our way. And I just feel like suddenly I have 9 million things to do and I don't know where to start. I've made list after list after list of what needs to happen and things we need to do. I currently have lists of things sitting in our refrigerator that I think are things we need to do. Some is stuff that we need to do to like fix up the house and paint and all those kind of things, which hubby is going to be home now. So hopefully all that kind of stuff will go faster. We have lots of stuff to sort through. He actually has already gone through a bunch of his work clothes, sorted out what little he wants to keep, and gotten rid of the rest of it. He still plans on doing storm work, but he doesn't need as many clothes as he had. He never needed as many as he had. I don't know why it took him this long to go through it, but I think sometimes when he moved here, he kind of started with nothing. And I think sometimes that's sort of in the back of his head. He feels like he has to hang on to everything because he didn't have anything when he came here, which I get. But he did go through everything and got through and got rid of quite a bit of it. So I have ordered some of my take back bags so that we can fill them up and not send everything to the landfill. So I'm waiting on those to arrive. We're still waiting to hear about whether or not we're going to get pre-approved for a mortgage in Canada. I don't know if it makes any difference at this point now that he's not working. I mean, he would be working. He will be doing storm work. We will have an income because we'll be collecting on his retirement. I don't know exactly what all that means, but anyway, he assures me that it's good for us to go ahead and do that, even if that's not the route we end up going. Because now it looks like we're going to sell our house first, and then I don't know, look when we get up there. I don't know how everything is going to go. And I just put all of those on the wrong one. So while I pick these off, let me continue to fill you in. So it was actually kind of funny as far as the mortgage goes, because my husband hadn't heard anything, and so he called the guy, and the guy said, well, I'm having to talk to the attorneys because Canada has changed the rules for non-Canadians buying property. My husband had told this guy that he was Canadian, so I don't know if the guy just forgot. I mean, I guess it wasn't clear, because in the paperwork they wanted from us, they wanted our tax returns, which of course are U.S. tax returns. They wanted my husband's driver's license, which is, of course, a U.S. driver's license. And he included his social insurance number, which is the equivalent of our social security number. But the guy had said, well, I've got to talk to lawyers because I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm Canadian. I'm a citizen. I'm moving back. And I'm moving back with my wife. We've already got permanent residency and everything. So she has her social insurance number. And the mortgage guy was like, oh, well, in that case. However, we still haven't heard anything back, so I don't know what's going on there. All right, let me see if I can not put things in the wrong place with this one. I have wanted to work on this kit for so long, and I still am only pulling it out for WIP and chats. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some good work on it. Anyway, hubby is now at home full time, so like I said, I'm hoping that means that we can start getting things done, all of the painting and stuff like that. Some of it I can do on my own, some of it I can't, because my knees don't work well enough for me to get up and down like I need to. We've gone through, I think, pretty much every room in the house, but not every room in the house completely. So I told my husband this week, I'm giving us this week to get whatever we need to do done, bare minimum, so we can at least get it on the market. I did go out and look and see what other houses are currently available in our area out there. And there's, I think, 3 that are the size of ours, that if we get what those people are asking, I'll be happy. But there are 3 other houses on the market. I was hoping by the time we got ours on the market, there would be none. So ours would kind of be the only option in the area, but I guess we'll just see what happens. I'm trying not to let myself think about what if we don't sell it really quickly. Just, that's not an option. We're going to sell it quickly. We have a lot more leeway than a lot of people I know because our mortgage is not very big. We have a lot of equity in our house. So I think we'll be fine in that way. But of course, the more we sell it for, that's more money that we would have to spend on whatever we get in Canada. And I have found myself, when I'm looking at the houses in Canada, looking at houses that are kind of the same size as our house, but only because I wanted a basement apartment. That way we could kind of move my son into it and he could have his own space. Then once he's ready to move out or do whatever he's going to do, or even if he wanted to stay at some point, if he's working, he could be paying us rent, or if he moves out, or times get tough or whatever, he could move in with us upstairs, and then we've got the downstairs that we could rent out as an apartment to help with mortgage payments. Lots of reasons for that. My husband is resisting that because essentially we would be buying a house at the same size as this one. I haven't convinced him yet that my way makes more sense, so we'll see how I do with that. And I think we're all anxious to finally move, including my son. I told my husband, again, the hardest part of that, the whole thing, is going to be me saying goodbye to my daughter. And I keep telling myself there are such things as telephones and Skype and Zoom and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to miss her. I know I am. And she's fine. But there's just that mom part of me that's like, And again, I know if she moved or we moved within the US, we could be just as far away. It just seems like so much further when you're saying that we're going to be living in Canada. It's really not. I mean, we could move to the east or west coast of the US and we would be just as far away from her there as we would be here. But somehow it would seem less far just because we would be within the United States. I don't know why that is, because that isn't true, but that's how it feels. So other things that have been going on, we got a bill in the mail for my youngest, and I knew it was from a doctor's office, but I didn't know what it was for because he hasn't been to the doctor in quite a while. I think the last time we took him in was for his poison ivy. It was a bill from 2022. So over 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, because I think it was like November of 2022. And so we both had to kind of think about, what did he go to the doctor for? Well, he has a wart or something on one of his fingers. And so I took him to the doctor because the child was cutting it off with a box cutter. And I said, what are you doing? We need to take you to the doctor, find out for sure if it's a wart or what it is. And he doesn't like it because it gets in the way when he writes. So the doctor said they didn't really know what it was either, but they presumed it was a wart. They froze it off. It was back within a matter of days. So he called to tell them that it was back and what should we do? And they said, oh, we'll go use some over-the-counter wart remover. And I thought, well, if you just used medical grade stuff and that didn't work, why on earth would they think that the over-the-counter stuff would work? What do I know? So we got over-the-counter stuff. It didn't work either. He uses it periodically to keep the size of it down, but it never completely goes away, which indicates to me that it probably isn't a wart since none of the wart remover stuff actually works. But what do I know? And he was so annoyed. He's looking at the bill. Mom, they billed $200 for this. So then I'm like explaining, yes, but there's a write-off. We don't actually owe that, but it went to your deductible, so we do owe this part. And he's like, but they billed me $200 to tell me to go buy over-the-counter stuff at Walmart, and it still didn't work. And I said, yeah. And he's like, that's a ripoff. And I was like, welcome to healthcare. In other news, my oldest finally got her driver's license. She renewed it last month, and it seemed like it took forever. Hubby and I had to renew ours this year as well, and I would swear both of us got ours within like a week. And it took hers almost right at a month before it arrived. I mean, I was to the point where you're going to need to call them and see what's going on, because I don't understand. Like, I'm afraid it's gotten lost in the mail somewhere because you still haven't gotten it. But it finally showed up. So I don't know what took so long. I know Topeka got hit by a bunch of storms, which is where all the state government offices are. So I don't know if that was part of it, that power was out for a while and so they were behind on processing. I don't know. But she finally got it. So they are still not, as far as I'm aware, done with the construction in front of her apartment, so she's still not able to park in her regular parking spot, but she says it looks like they're getting close to being done, so maybe in another couple of weeks she'll be able to actually park where she's supposed to instead of having to park at somebody else's house. They got really lucky. Most of the people in the apartment complex where she lives have been parking on this side street, and it's someone's house is right there on that side street, and they lost a big tree in the last round of storms as well as when we did. Luckily it fell perpendicular to the street, or I mean parallel to the street, so it didn't hit any of the apartment people's cars that were parked on this side road. Made quite a mess because it was apparently quite a large tree that they had to have cut up, but nobody's car was hurt, so that was a good thing, since they're not parking where they're normally supposed to. I am in the process of trying to sort through a bunch of my things. She is actually going to take my cutting machine. I'm not going to take that with us to Canada. Hubby and I have wanted to upgrade anyway to a newer version, so we're going to take the opportunity to she can have this one. It's an older model, but it still works perfectly fine. And then she can play around and experiment with it, and I can move a bunch of that stuff out of our house and over to hers, and then I will get a more updated machine once we finally move up there. That's the plan anyway. So I have lots of stuff that I need to go through and sort through because I'll be giving her the sticker paper that goes with it. I've got a bunch of cardstock. There's a bunch of tools. I need to ask my husband what he wants to do about his vinyl. He makes a lot of vinyl decals for like car windows and that kind of thing. He's already made himself a decal to put on his car for when we start our move with the logo of the new channel, so that as we're driving, hopefully people will see it. And maybe I'll get some viewers that way. We'll see what happens. I need to finish up doing all of that stuff. I haven't finished up all the back end work that I need to do for the new channel yet. So once I get all of that finished, then I will be able to share with you guys what I'm doing, and we'll see what happens. So lots of changes, lots of scary changes, and yeah, I think at this point I'm just trying to keep myself busy and not worry about what's coming in the next couple of weeks, because if I do, I will make myself crazy. Also, not looking forward to the next couple of weeks, another reason to not think about it. My son and I finally made it into the dentist. He didn't have any cavities, so yay, because it actually had been almost a year since we'd been in for our cleanings. We were supposed to go in January, and we had the big snowstorm, and everything slowed to a crawl. Anyway, so I had canceled that one because we drive, it's like 45 minutes to our dentist. We've gone to her forever, and so I didn't want to switch, even though she's quite a ways away. So it's kind of a big trek when we go in. I figured it wasn't a big deal for only 2 times a year, but even at that. Anyway, so after the snowstorm, I kept forgetting to call in and reschedule. I finally got around to it. I think I called the beginning of April, and they couldn't get us in till May. The day after our appointment was the Tuesday after the Monday when all the power went out and everything. And I said, we can't even get out of town right now. There's so many limbs down, like all the roads out of town were blocked. So I ended up having to reschedule again. We finally made it in. He had no cavities, so yay. After a year, I thought that was pretty good. However, boo, I have one. So I have to go in a couple of weeks and get that done, which it's not a big cavity, but I have so much anxiety when it comes to the dentist, which I think people kind of, well, I feel like people make fun of me for that, which is kind of annoying because it's not really that I'm afraid of the dentist. It's just that I don't like pain. I don't like them giving me the shot, even though I know it's going to numb stuff. I don't like having work done on my teeth. Like my ideal trip to the dentist would be for them to completely knock me out, do whatever they're going to do, and then just wake me up when it's over, right? What's so hard about that? So I'm not looking forward to, my son was actually like, because the whole thing with the tires happened the same week we were supposed to go to the dentist. And I'm like, if we have to go get a new tire put on and all this kind of stuff, we may have to reschedule. He's like, Mom, don't reschedule. If we don't make it in this time, just let's go to the dentist in Canada. And I said, well, we could, but I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to the dentist. And it's already been almost a year. I would like to go in and just, with someone I'm already comfortable with, get whatever done that I need to get done. And then I know I'm good to go. And that way, I guess I can put it off for as long as possible. Once we move, I just need to find someone. I've had several root canals, and I love the dentist that does the root canals because he basically puts me to sleep. They give me a shot to numb. Well, first they give you like the wipe on stuff to numb things. Then he gives me the shot, but it's already been numbed, so I can't feel it, so that's good. And then they also give you nitrous. So I basically just take a nap in the chair while they do whatever they're going to do. I know most people are like, oh my gosh, root canals are the worst ever, but I actually would rather do that than have a cavity filled because it's less painful and less anxiety inducing, because I know I get all the good stuff at that dentist. I guess he's not technically, what do they call him, an endodontist or something like that. Not something I'm looking forward to. Actually, I was just thinking the other day, this is going to be kind of strange for me because I've lived here my whole life. We've been going to the same dentist for probably over a decade. In fact, she made the comment that she's been seeing my son since he was little, and she has. I have had the same lady cutting my hair since I was basically 16. So the thought of having to find new people to do all of that stuff is also anxiety inducing, which most people probably wouldn't even give a second thought to. My husband's like, no big deal. I'm like, yeah, but my husband dad was in the military, so they moved all the time. I think he went to a different high school for every year he was in high school. Plus, my husband is just much more outgoing and easygoing than I am. But it's just scary, I think. all the thought of all of that change is scary. And so there's that. So lots of stuff happening. Lots of stuff going to be happening hopefully this week. We just, yesterday, our citywide garage sales were last week. So this weekend, the local bank always sponsors a shred day where they hire a shredder to come with their big bins and their big truck, and they dump everything into the bins, lock it up, and then they take it to the shred place and shred everything for you. We have a home shredder, but we just, in the process of going through all of the things that we've gone through, we had so much stuff that we were getting rid of that our little home shredder, it would have taken me a week to get everything done. We try to stay on top of it. We actually burn a lot of stuff. We have a little chimenea on our deck. So we'll often go out there and we'll sit out there on a nice evening and we'll just put some logs in it to get the fire going, and then we'll just burn a bunch of the stuff that we would normally shred while we sit out there and talk, roast marshmallows, watch TV on our little iPads, whatever we're doing. Spend a little bit of time together. But it was just getting to be too much. We had gone through so many things that we just had too much. And we could have paid to take it to a shredding place, but I knew that they were going to be offering it for free after the citywide garage sale. So I just kind of saved everything up. We had like 2 big boxes full of stuff. So that's all done and gone, and that's out of the house now. So yay. Okay, I think that's everything for my regular life. So what's going on in my diamond painting life? I missed one of that symbol, so hang on, let me fill that in. And then I think I'm going to move my camera a bit because I don't think you guys can see the top of this while I'm working on it. So let me move that real quick, and then I'll finish in this section, and then I guess I'll work on some black. Okay, now I feel like you can see everything. So what's going on in my diamond painting world? I think I did not realize how close to burnout I put myself doing the J-wall. I don't regret doing it the way that I did, but, well, that's not strictly true. I do regret waiting and feeling like I had to work on nothing but that for the month of May. I wish I had stuck to my original schedule so that I could have worked on a little bit at a time, because doing the whole J-wall during the month of May, essentially, yeah, it was a lot. And I was pretty close to burnout. I will say though, one, it's finished, so yay, I'm glad I did it that way because that did ensure that I got it finished. But it has actually, I think, because I was so close to burnout with it, I think it has actually made me enjoy the process even more on the new ones that I've started doing. I wanted to get it finished before June because I wanted that big huge project done before DP for Pets started, and I made that, so I'm super happy about that. And I got a ton of hours to add into my May goals and all of that, so it's all good. But like I said, I pushed myself really close to the point of burnout. However, because I got it finished and I was able to start working on some smaller kits, man, it has just really reset my attitude. I just finished the Yorkie. If you missed the video on that yesterday, go check that out. It was a partial, so it was a smaller kit, but it was so much fun to work on. The drills were a little gappier than I would have liked, but it was an older kit. But it's so cute. I really love that artist style. Like I said, I've done several of hers. I've done the Yorkie now. I've done the Bubblegum Spaniel. I've done the Hedgehog one, and I have the Basset Hound coming up, which is also by her, even though that one is not a partial. But it was just so much fun. I couldn't believe how quickly that one went. I mean, I was diamond painting at my table and telling my husband, oh my gosh, I'm already halfway done with this. I can't believe how fast this is going. Because I thought it would take me longer than it did because it was a square. Because it was a partial, it's not a surprise that it didn't take me as long as I thought. But I think I just thought because it was a square that it was going to take me longer than it did. But it turned out amazing. I'm so happy with it. And it really reset my attitude. Like I said, I also finished something else my Crafties kit that I unboxed last month, the Lake Cottages one, it was only a 40 by 50 and it was round. And so I thought, well, I'm going to sneak this one in and get it finished because I'd already started it. And I'm going to get it finished so that I can move on to my second DP for Pets kit. It took so much longer than I thought it would. It took almost twice as long as the Yorkie, which is kind of crazy. Now, it was a full drill and the Yorkie was a partial, but the Yorkie was still bigger and it was square. That one was only 40 by 50 and it was round, but once I started working on it, it didn't really look like it at first, but oh my goodness, it had so much confetti. It was kind of almost shades of the J-wall again, because it was that situation where I was working on a section and I would do a color and then I would put that color away, and as soon as I put that color away, I would see 3, 4, 5 spots of that color that I had missed, and it was like, what is going on? But I finally finished it. It's super cute and it's another finish, so I'm super excited because that means I've already finished 2 things for the month of May, or the month of June, to add to my total. So go me. So I'm excited that I got those 2 things finished. I will be working on my Basset Hound next for DP for Pets. I might even be able to get a 3rd kit finished for DP for Pets. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm super happy with how the month is going so far. It's been awesome. I feel way more productive, so yeah. And I'm going to be working on this one, the Jasper C. This is the 4th of my 5 oldest for that goal that I will be finishing, so super excited about that. But that's part of the reason that I'm working on trying to get everything in my office kind of sorted out, get the cutting machine to my daughter, all that kind of stuff, because I need to sit down and figure out, because I'm not going to have access to a bunch of these things once we get a bunch of stuff packed up and once we move, obviously. I mean, we'll probably get a new cutting machine, but until then, and also during the move and everything, I need to figure out what kits I'm going to be working on and what kits I'm not, because if I'm not going to be working on it, I need to pack it up, and if I am going to be working on it, I need to make it easily accessible while we're waiting for the house to sell. This will be interesting. I've never really had to kind of not hide away necessarily what I'm working on, but just I'm trying to declutter everything as much as possible. And my craft room is the exact opposite of decluttered. So moving out the cutting machine, getting rid of that big piece of furniture. I'm probably going to swap out maybe what I'm currently using for my filming desk for my adjustable desk. That way we don't really have to take it apart and find somewhere to store it until we're ready to go. So I'll be using that table to film, and then I'll probably just work on the dining room table, because I don't like being stuck in my office when I'm working on something. I want to be out where, especially now that my husband's going to be home all the time, I want to be out where we can converse with each other while I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Lots of stuff for me to do. I've got to figure out for the rest of June and then July and August, what am I working on? Because the end of August is kind of in the back of our minds, the departure date, I guess, that we've kind of set for ourselves. That may change, but we're just going to approach it as if that's how it's going to be. Power of positive thinking, right? So I want to work on Jasper C and then figure out what I want to work on next month. Probably smaller projects, just because I'm going to want stuff that will possibly need to be easy to transport, because I will still plan to continue to work and film and diamond paint with this channel even after I start the other channel. The other channel is going to focus on our move to Canada and me and my crazy brain and how we deal with how things are different in Canada. So yeah, I need things that are going to possibly be easy to transport. I may need to work and film in some hotels like I did on our last trip to Canada. I don't know. So I just need to keep that in the back of my mind while I'm planning. Another reason that I'm super glad that I finished the J-wall, because hauling that thing around would have been impossible. I mean, just the number of things I would have had to carry just for the drills would have been ridiculous. Never mind finding someplace big enough that I could actually spread it out to work on it. I guess I could have tried rolling it up and working on it that way, but I just don't like doing that. Wouldn't have been good for the double-sided adhesive anyway. So yeah, lots of planning and packing and things like that ahead in my future. I gotta say, I have been pleasantly surprised by the responses to a couple of my recent videos. A lot of times when I'm making a video, I don't know what the response is going to be. There are some times when I make a video and I think, is this a dumb idea? Is anybody going to watch this video? Is anybody going to comment? Which typically ends up for me being the videos that you guys seem to like and comment on the most. So I guess I must be doing something right. My video about the 5 things that annoyed me in diamond painting, everybody had lots of things to say, which I thought was so awesome. I wasn't sure if anybody would be interested in it, but so many of you had things to add. There were several things that I had thought of, but just didn't kind of make my top 5 list of annoyances, because we all work differently. But lots of you had things to add that I never even thought about. Some because I don't work that way, and some because they just had never occurred to me. So thank you so much to everybody who commented and shared on that video. That was awesome. And also the video about things that I don't do when I diamond paint. Again, that video, when I made it, I made that video, I made the thumbnail. I actually had a completely different direction in mind when I first made that video. And then when I sat down and started editing, I was like, no, I want the title to be this and not that. I want the thumbnail to look like this, even though it wasn't what I had planned. And I actually woke up in the middle of the night that night and thought, oh, I should get up and change the title of that video. I just don't think that's a great title. It's not going to do very well. And shocked and amazed. Thank you to everybody who watches, likes, comments, shares. All of that really helps me with the algorithm, because I don't know how it all works. I'm just trying to learn and share and hopefully entertain. So yeah, I hope what I'm doing is interesting and entertaining to you guys, and I'm sure you'll let me know if it isn't. I did find out that I'm not the only one who doesn't use pink wax. So many of you commented that you also use glue dots, so I'm actually super happy about that. I think glue dots are amazing. I think they make life so much easier. And for people who use the pink wax, if that works for you, then great. I'm not trying to say that I think there's anything wrong with people who use the pink wax. It was just nice to know that I'm not alone in my love of glue dots, and also to know that I'm not alone in my aversion to the light pad. I had several people comment that they did not use a light pad for the same reason as me. Their eyes seem to get more fatigued. So I don't know if that's a physiological thing. Those of you who do use light pads, maybe you're just lucky enough that you don't have vision issues, and it's those of us with vision issues that find them fatiguing. I don't know. But it was nice to know I'm not alone, right? That's always nice to know that you're not alone in something, whatever that something is. So yeah, I'm super excited for this month. Like I said, I've already got 2 finishes under my belt. I'm hoping I can add at least a couple of more. I would like to finish this one as well as the Basset for this month, and maybe even more than that. I don't think the Basset will take me very long, so I'm pretty sure I can confidently say that that one is going to get finished. I don't know about this one, but it is around, and once this is the only one that I'm working on, I'm sure it'll go a lot faster. This one got shoved by the wayside while I was working on the J-wall, so I want to get to it because I might want to frame this one. I won't hang it up anywhere because I'm not hanging anything up in the house, but I have plenty of boxes already full of framed diamond paintings that are going to be making the move with us, so this might be one of them depending on how it turns out. So yeah, just really excited to see how things are going to go. So in addition to finishing the Basset and possibly this one, I also want to at least unbox and maybe start something off of my Want series list. I didn't get anything done off of that list last month, although I did realize after I did my May recap for my goals, I think I said I only had 3 done, but I actually have 4 done because I did Harajuku, I did Lady Luck, I did Wishes, and there was a 4th one that I realized, which I can't remember at the moment, but So I think I've got 4 of those done instead of just the 3 that I said. But anyway, I would like to do that. And I told my husband, bonus, whatever I manage to finish in the next 2 or 3 months before we move, that's boxes of kits that I won't have to move, right? So win-win. All right. I think that's it for me for diamond painting for today, because we do have something else we need to get to. So let me zoom out so you guys have something to look at, and then we'll do our weekly drawing. So you can see I didn't get a huge amount done. I've still got a couple of places here I need to fill in. I actually have some down here in this section I still need to fill in too. So I will get to that. But before I get to that, we need to have our drawing for our second weekly drawing for DP for Pets. So thank you to everybody who is participating. I can't tell you how exciting and how much it means to me. I am going back every week because I still have people entering. So I've gone back and added everybody so that my list is up to date. The Facebook group is growing, so if you're not in the Facebook group, you should join us. I am absolutely loving everybody posting all their progress pics. Some of you picked really amazing kits to work on. Even if they're not huge, they're adorable. So I'm loving seeing all the photos. I'm trying to remember to post pics of my own. So yeah, join us over there. And also, you guys, I just hit 9,000 subscribers. So again, a huge thank you. So that means I'm only 1,000 away from 10K, which just absolutely blows my mind. When I started this channel, I thought I would be lucky to get to 1,000. That was my goal, get to 1,000. Everything above that would be gravy. And it has just exceeded my expectations at every turn. And I'm so thankful for all of you who have joined me on this journey. So yeah, I can't wait to see what comes next. Now let's draw for our weekly giveaway number 2. And let's spin our little wheel here. I hope it's in focus. I never can remember exactly how close to hold it. Donna Banks. So Donna Banks is our winner. Congratulations, Donna. Donna, if you will send me an email. My email is diamondpaintinganonymous@gmail.com. Shoot me an email so that you can give me your mailing information and I will get this week's weekly prize out to you. Again, you guys, I'm so excited for whatever comes next. Super thankful for all of you that have joined me along this journey so far. And I can't wait to see how this event turns out and see all the gorgeous paintings that you guys are working on. So loving all the pics. Keep them coming. Join the group. You can use the hashtag DP4Pets2024. You can tag me, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram. I'm on both places. And yeah, I'm just having a blast. I hope you guys are too. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.